Hey, y'all. I know this sounds crazy, but I have a favorite vaccine. I know, I know a pediatrician should not have a favorite vaccine, but I can't help it. I'm Dr. Parker Ellison, a board certified pediatrician with over 35 years of clinical experience. And I will have to say that I do have some favorite vaccines. Not just one, but two. Vaccines have become incredibly controversial, unfortunately, since COVID. I will say I'm very pro vaccine, and that is based on a long career dealing with infectious diseases in my clinic. So, real in on the front lines, in the trenches daily. It's based on that. Those of you who are choosing to not do vaccines, please listen up. When I first started, it was not unusual for me to see older children or adolescents in wheelchairs, unfortunately, or strollers that were neurologically devastated due to a previous bout with meningitis or sepsis. A lifelong course of tube feedings and seizures and diapers and just a long, awful, sad life. The causes of that are now vaccine preventable generally. But parents have never even heard of the germs that cause that meningitis and sepsis. Uh, the vaccines we have for them are HIV, and pneumococcal vaccines. So Hib and pneumococcal vaccines. Almost everybody's vaccinated for them now, but parents have never even heard of those germs. These vaccines are for germs that many children have in their nasal and their nasal cavity and their nose right now. So it's not something that's out there in some unvaccinated community. It is something that kids could get today from a friend or a daycare. We don't need a local outbreak to come in contact with them. Why, from time to time, these germs decide to become invasive and go through the bloodstream or into the around the brain, nobody knows why that happens. But the Hib and the pneumococcal vaccines almost prevent 100% of that now. Before the early 90s, doctors lived in fear of those infections. So right about the time I started practice, things changed because we started giving the vaccines around that time. So now they're further and further down our list of concerns, whereas years ago, it was a major concern. I essentially never see neurologically devastated kids from these infections anymore, and that's because of the vaccines. The neurologically devastated kids I see now are almost always due to some sort of genetic syndrome rather than some sort of infectious disease. So when you do your research, you need to do a deep dive on Hib and pneumococcal disease, and you will see why these two vaccines are my favorites. Yeah, I think many other vaccines are vital to having a healthy public health system. I do, but these two in particular are much more contracted, much more easily contracted than an illness like polio that generally requires exposure to someone with polio to catch, which thankfully in most of America is not occurring yet because almost everyone is vaccinated. If we quit vaccinating, we will eventually have outbreaks. So I am strongly in favor of those vaccines as well, but the Hib and the pneumococcal germs are much more likely to be a problem for your child in a generally vaccinated world. So those are my favorite vaccines. Hopefully it makes sense to you. If you like time tested and practical pediatric advice, continue to like and follow and subscribe and do all that stuff.